One day, my 12 months antique daughter Willow came to me and said, "Mommy, did you recognize that there have been girls my age in the United States which are being trafficked for intercourse?" And I did not. God, I cannot sense her. Infant, I'm now not Jada Smith is lower back in the spotlight, and it is messier this time. After CNN positioned her on blast, exposing her as Diddy's little minion, she's been panicking extra than ever. The streets were buzzing with rumors for years approximately something fishy between Diddy, Will, and Jada. And with Diddy getting confronted and Gene Deal dropping a few eye-establishing revelations, we might subsequently get the answers we have been looking ahead to. When you were relationship J-Lo, Will Smith and Jada attempted to choose her up on a threesome and you were going to beat up Will Smith. Is that actual? You definitely heard that? Yeah, watched it at the net. You're telling me I can't trust the whole lot I examined? What? I do not know what shit's starting up. Tell me the tale approximately how Puffy wanted to combat Will Smith over Jennifer Lopez. Oh, guy. We have been at a party that I assume either Matt Damon turned into Given for Ben Affleck. It was only a little collecting. It changed into it the Four Seasons. Will Smith and his sister and their husband, we had been all sitting in this facet of the room. Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Jennifer Lopez, Puff, Will Smith and Jada that becomes sitting on the opposite side of the room. So I recognized Puff so properly that he stood up. When he stood up, he walked and did his own certain type of manner, after which he become like this you already know, that I went over towards him. I realized to head over there closer to him. So I crossed in the direction of him. He said to me, he stated, "Yo, I think Will and Jada is trying to scoop up Jennifer. I want you to stay near due to the fact I'm a snuffer." I said to myself, Will Smith gonna beat the S out of you? No, Puff can scrap now, but I don't assume he could beat Will Smith. You understand what I'm saying? Well, he can scrap. You recognize what I'm pronouncing. So then he stated that S. So I did not pass lower back over there we're in. Will Snuff's sister and her husband turned into. I stayed inside the about if he snuff Will. I could move gradual sufficient that Will should probably get her 3 punches back in. Yeah, but that S was funny. He thought that Jada and Will turned into approaching too robust to Jennifer, making advances. Thing approximately packed, stuff was usually leaping off. It turned into always popping. So pack turned into cool with. I'm coming in your spot, or you may meet me at my spot over right here. But it wasn't any, we're going, come to the club with me, go to thee. That changed into a no-no. I become absolutely worried about, I went up there to look Pac. He turned into nonetheless in prison when he advised me. And he said that he was going to signal with Shug, because Pac were waiting. Because of the nature of his expenses, he changed into these men need to come back, want to come get me. In particular, these men who are creating wealth off of me. We were we'll get you out of here. We'll enhance the money. And we're here, we'll get you out. He had his back. He changed into he turned into no. So with Shug, he felt appearance, that is, I owe him 3 albums and I'm accomplished. No marvel their marriage has been this sort of roller coaster. In a jaw-dropping turn of activities, Jada Smith spills the tea in her e-book, revealing that she and Will separated manner lower back in 2016. Can you trust that? They deserve an award for their performing abilities, preserving this below wraps for see you later. It isn't always your duty to make your spouse glad proper, just like it is not my wife's obligation to make me satisfied. It's my obligation to make me glad, and it's her responsibility to make her satisfied, and then we are going to come together and build on that happiness. Will Smith is continuing to get candid approximately his marriage to Jada Pinkett Smith. The 5'3", 1 2 months old actor is featured in a new cover story for GQ and discusses the revelations in his upcoming memoir titled Will. The Philadelphia native well-known shows that Jada became no longer the handiest one conducting different relationships out of doors of their marriage. He explains, quote, "We have given every other agree with and freedom with the notion that everybody has to discover their personal way. And marriage for us cannot be a jail. And I do not propose our road for every person. I do not advise this avenue for every person. But the experiences and the freedoms that we have given each other and the unconditional assist to me is the best definition of affection. Anything that I need to make myself satisfied, I will gift that to my spouse that I want that to be glad." Divorce isn't in choice. We're going to be collectively. So we're going to determine out how to be glad. The Independence Day big name also touches on his fantasies related to different ladies and candidly discusses working with an intimacy coach, Will's best choice in the global, to have a harem of girlfriends. Specifically, Will names Misty Copeland and Halle Berry and says his intimacy instruct even worked at the list with him. Will tells the mag, quote, "As a teen, but the concept of touring with 20 ladies that I cherished and took care of and all of that, it regarded like an honestly extraordinary idea. And then once we played it out a bit, I was like, that would be horrific. That would be horrific. I was like, can you consider how depressing? The Oscar nominee says that the intimacy teach became cleansing out my mind, letting it realize it turned into okay to be me and be who I was. At the quit of the day, it is simply not quitting. You already know. In the GQ article, it is stated that Will does no longer pass into much detail about his 23-year marriage to Jada in his memoir. Will and I shared some very non-public truths approximately our courting. The Hitch star says that a variety of details regarding their courting have already been made public, which includes Jada's entanglement with singer August Alsina, which she opened up approximately on her Facebook Watch display Red Table Talk in July 2020. I got right into a one-of-a-kind sort of entanglement. With August, one aspect I want to get clear about and smooth up. One of the things that became kind of swirling within the press approximately you giving permission. That is, a handiest character that might give permission in that specific situation is myself. Yes, a relationship. Yes, it was a relationship. Absolutely. I became in numerous ache, and I was very broken. Now, within the method of that dating, I actually realized that you cannot find happiness outside of yourself. Will explains to the mag in part, quote, Jada never believed in traditional marriage, and for the larger part of our dating, monogamy was what we chose. No longer considering monogamy as the simplest relational perfection, I absolutely sat down with Will and had a communique. He gave me his blessing. I totally gave myself to that dating for years of my life, and I honestly and truly simply deeply loved and have a ton of love for her. As for why Will and Jada publicly reacted to August's remarks about his relationship with Jada to guard themselves, quote, we came to the agreement that authenticity turned into the release from the shackles of fame and public scrutiny. And though Will says he and Jada are in a far higher region now, he opens up in his ebook about some of the toughest moments of their marriage. According to an excerpt from Will's memoir acquired through GQ, the actor writes that they reached a breaking point in 2011 on Jada's 40th birthday, something additionally they spread out about on Red Table Talk. Your 40th birthday changed into my low point. The day after her 37th birthday, I employed a crew to orchestrate her 40th birthday. I had employed a documentary group. I traced Mommy's circle of relatives' roots. Her 40th birthday turned into going to be my aspect, and she's instructed me that the birthday celebration was the most ridiculous show of my ego. Despite the hurdles, the Suicide Squad big name has unfolded approximately why their many years lengthy marriage works generally, together with 2015, while he instructed E.T. this. You cannot count on it to. The easiest, like our marriage, turned into the most hard, grueling, and excruciating factor that we've ever taken on in our lives. And we are just no longer quitters. And with the aid of the identical token, we are not apathetic. So we're now not going to sit there and let it, you already know, be painful. We're going to maintain running. And if there is a secret, I might say, is that we by no means went into working on our relationship. We most effective ever worked on ourselves in my view, and then supplied ourselves to one another better than we had been previously. In my buddy organization, I'm the handiest polyamorous person, and I even have the least out of all of my pals. Willow Smith introduced the latest debate to Red Table Talk. It takes exercise to have the one's hard conversations. On Wednesday, the multi-technology dynamic were given non-public once again, this time with Willow's revelation that she's polyamorous. This has been a journey for you, MS Willow. How did you make this choice? With polyamory, I experienced like the foremost basis is the freedom with a purpose to create a dating fashion that works for you. And not just moving into monogamy, because that is what everybody around you says is the proper thing to do. The 201 2 Months antique singer unfolded about her perspective on polyamory relationships, assisting her mother and Gammy understand her choice to be to have more than one intimate partners at the equal time. So I was like, how can I structure the way that I approach relationships with that in thoughts? Also doing studies into polyamory, the primary reasons why monogamous relationships or why marriage, why divorces show up is infidelity. Yeah, let's say you have not constantly been the form of person that desired to have all of the time, but your companion is.
Right.
Are you going to be the character to say, just because I do not have those wishes, you can't have them either? Right. Throughout the collection, all three ladies have maintained an open mind with topics approximately and mother, Jada Pinkett Smith's reaction right here changed into no one of a kind. How did you feel once I advised you that I become polyamorous? When you have been like, what's up, that is my get down. I changed into like, I totally get it. Wanting to set up your life in a manner that you may have what its miles which you want. I suppose whatever goes so long as the intentions are clear. You realize what I mean? To everyone, most people are practicing monogamy because they feel like they don't have any different choice. We all recognize that maximum people out right here do an unethical non-monogamy anyway. And at the same time as Gammy tried to understand the concept, the matriarch talked about that many humans nevertheless agree within monogamous relationships. There's consolation in that it offers to nearly like a social order to life and placing barriers and commitments. I bet I'm not definitely clear on what it offers you. Could you consider being in a collection? And loving anybody equally? No. Whether it be platonic or now not? Wow. Well, then I do not know what to mention. That's due to Gam's ideas around love. The verbal exchange additionally seemed to the future, and Willow admitted that for her to walk down the aisle at some point, there would need to be some stipulations in region first. What are your feelings and ideas around marriage as you understand it today? The records of marriage really irks me. Yeah. Just the records of marriage as an entire and what it has represented over time for women especially, I sense like the only way that I might get married is, let's assume me and my associate or companions wants to assist people, and we want to position our budget together for you to make that vision. Show up, that's the most effective manner I ought to see myself getting married.